Over 90% of creators never reach 1,000 subscribers, but the top 1% are growing faster than ever. Having grown multiple YouTube channels to over 1 million subscribers combined taught me this. Growing your YouTube channel is not about randomly getting lucky and waking up to millions of subscribers. It's about knowing the strategies and rules the top creators play by, and if you cannot figure them out, you will never grow like the top 1% of creators. So let me show you the things that are quietly killing your YouTube growth and what to do instead. Number 1 is stop making videos for everyone. You can have the best videos in the world, but if you are always switching niches or content formats, it will be very hard for you to figure out who exactly it is you are making videos for. And the thing is, growth is destroyed by producing content in different niches and formats without a consistent path. You don't need to make content for everyone. You actually just need to figure out the exact person you are making videos for. The most successful YouTubers actually rarely produce content for everyone, but actually only focus on the audience their content is targeted for. And every video they produce is highly attractive for that specific audience. I used to be the perfect example of making videos for everyone, and I did it for multiple reasons. One, I felt like going broad would give me the best chances at reaching as many people as I could, and I thought that would result in growing my channel faster, when in reality this dramatically slowed the growth of my channel. Two, I had a lot of ideas that I wanted to do creatively. So some weeks I was inspired to do content in a certain format or niche. Then the next week I was doing a completely different type of content. I felt very indecisive with the type of content that I wanted to stick with. And then the third was that if the content wasn't working right away, I felt unsure, doubtful to continue producing the same content in that niche, and would completely pivot into producing a different style of content. And this was due to the lack of knowledge I had on YouTube at the time. And so it wasn't until I came across a video about niching down where I realized I went back to analyze all my content that I was producing for that specific channel. And when I reviewed it, my content was all over the place. It was targeting multiple audiences. I was just confusing the YouTube algorithm, so YouTube didn't really know who to feed my videos to. Here's the thing, if you want to make videos that target your exact audience, you first have to begin with knowing exactly who that person is. You have to know their personality and interests. Because when you know your audience's interest and personality, your videos are specifically targeted at the right audience, even though that audience pool may be smaller. When people are trying to figure out their audience, the first thing I say is you have to write down the personality of your target audience. A trick that I do when starting a new channel, for example, is I ask myself questions about my target audience. What's the culture of this audience? What do they like? What don't they like? What do they value? What are their characteristics? Who are they and who were they when they were young? So ask yourself some of these questions, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but doing this will help you have a better understanding of your audience. Because if not, you will not know who your target audience is, and not knowing your target audience will lead you to make content for everyone, which is why your channel isn't growing in the first place. Ryan Trahan, Mark Rober, Michelle Carr, mrbeast, and all of your favorite top creators narrow down on their specific target audience and make videos for them. Number 2 is we want to stop rushing through video ideas. No matter how good your video is, it does not matter if your idea is not good to begin with. A video will not go viral if the idea is bad. So if your ideas are boring and not attractive to a large audience, people will not click on your video. And people don't want to waste their time watching a video with a boring or bad idea. So instead of rushing through the ideation process and choosing bad ideas, instead you want to be creative and dedicate more time to this phase. One way is by researching what has already worked. The reason this works is because there is proven interest in these ideas from past results. They have already worked. You want to double down on the ideas that have already worked. You can literally take those ideas that have worked and recreate them. You can do this 3 ways. 1, you can use your channel to find out what has worked in the past. 2, you can use your competitors to find out what has worked for them. And 3, you can use YouTube as a whole, outside your niche, to find out what has worked for other creators. Once you have an idea, understand why it worked and see how you can recreate it. For example, can you do the same idea but with a slight change to it? Can you do a second version of the same idea? Or can you add to the idea? So let's analyze how a big creator like mrbeast does this. MrBeast does this with many formats, but one popular format he did this with is with his $1 versus series. He started with $1 versus $100,000 firework, saw it worked, and repeated this format. Then he did $1 versus $1 million hotel room, then $1 versus $1 billion yacht, $1 versus $250,000 vacation, $1 versus $100 million car, $1 versus $100 million house, and so on. I remember actually one of the channels that I used to run, I did this exact method. Found an idea that worked on a competitor's channel, redid it with a slight twist on my own channel, and it worked. When I saw that idea worked on my channel, I doubled down on it instead of creating something new. Think about the top creators, let's say, versus someone that might be struggling to grow their channel. How do you think they will ideate differently? How are they going to come up with ideas? What are they going to do once they have an idea that is working? It's like the top creators are going to have a system to come up with ideas. They are going to analyze what has worked in the past. They are going to double down on what is working. Whereas a beginner creator might be spending very little time on ideas and creating ideas that aren't very good. And so you have to remember the importance of coming up with great ideas. And most beginner creators simply rush through the ideation phase without knowing how important it is to dedicate more time to ideas and come up with great ideas for their videos. So at the end of the day, we want to stop rushing through the ideation phase. We want to dedicate more time to it by researching what has worked in the past, whether that is on your channel, your competitors, or YouTube as a whole. And then we want to double down on what is working, which makes your channel have better ideas that people will want to watch. Number 3 is we want to stop ignoring packaging. You don't get clicks by accident or simply because your idea is good. You have to earn the click by packaging your idea so good people can't ignore it. If you don't focus on your packaging, which is your title and thumbnail, no matter how good your video is, no one will click and watch. It might not be your favorite thing to do as a creator, but it is your responsibility to nail the title and thumbnail of your video. And the top creators on YouTube know this, which is why they focus on their packaging so much. I remember when I was starting one of my first channels, I was researching the most important things to focus on when growing on YouTube, and packaging kept coming up. The importance of having a good title and thumbnail were always on the list. So that's what I did. I focused on the title and thumbnail, and throughout that process, I learned some important things that you need to implement when creating your title and thumbnail. For your title, you want to create emotion, you want to create curiosity, and you want to make it simple and clear. For example, this title creates an emotion. It creates a negative emotion. This title makes you curious. It makes you curious about the 6 lessons. And this title is clear and simple. It could have said, I tried every drive-thru's most expensive item to try to beat the world record, but it doesn't. It uses as few words as possible. When it comes to your thumbnail, you want to make it simple, clear, and create interest. Let's take a look at Ryan Trahan's thumbnail again and break down how he implements these rules. First, he makes it simple. Only has 3 main elements in the thumbnail. 1, him holding the burger. 2, the McDonald's sign in the background. And 3, the text. Second, he makes the thumbnail clear. The yellow and red contrast nicely with the blue background. The picture of him and the burger is a nice high quality picture, and overall it's clear and not busy. And third, he creates interest, starting with the text he uses, instant regret, which points to the McDonald's burger he probably just created, since I think this doesn't look like a normal McDonald's burger, but you see it creates interest to click and watch the video to find out more. Now, why does this work? Viewers click because your packaging is clear, simple, creates an emotion, and makes people curious to click and watch. If your title and thumbnail don't create this in a sea of endless content that people can watch, they will simply scroll past your video. And that is why the top creators nail these principles of packaging and get people to click and watch. Number 4 is we want to stop having bad intros. People are making a decision whether to stay or click off your video right from the opening of your video. Mentally, they are asking themselves whether this video will add value to them or waste their time. And having a bad intro kills the chances of people staying for your video. Having a bad visual hook you lose some people. Having a bad audio hook, you lose some people. And so having a good intro is crucial to retain people for the rest of your video. I remember being at Vid Summit one year and hearing a very good piece of advice in one of the workshops that I really found helpful, and it was something along the lines of, your first few seconds are the most important and you should spend a disproportionate amount of time working on it compared to the rest of your video. And this can't be further from the truth. You have to reassure people after they decide to click that indeed this is the video that the title and thumbnail say it is. Let's take a look at some examples and see how some of the top creators do it. In this mrbeast video, $1 versus $1 billion yacht, we see him opening the video with the opening shot of the $1 billion yacht, affirming to the viewer that indeed it matches the thumbnail and title they just clicked on. Then he gives context about what the video is going to be about, all the way down to the $1 yacht, which we see in the title and thumbnail. After that, he gets right into the video showing the $1 yacht, and it's only been 18 seconds since he started the video. The reason I point this out is because the intro is fast and doesn't waste the viewer's time, but at the same time grabs the viewer's attention and gives just enough context about what the video is about. Or if we take a look at this creator doing more educational type of content, I met 94 billionaires. Here's 6 things I learned.
Only 2,640 billionaires in the world that we know of. And on this phone are 94 of them. I have 94 billionaires in my contacts. Some of them are friends, a lot of them are clients.
He opens the video with a big statement telling you how many billionaires there are in the world, followed by a quick montage of some popular billionaires. Then proceeds to show his phone saying that he has the contact of 94 of them, with some of them being clients or friends. You see, he quickly reaffirms the title and thumbnail by telling you that indeed he knows 94 billionaires. But here, take a look at this next section and see if you can figure out what else he does correctly in his intro.
I've learned certain habits and mindsets that they have that allow them to operate on a completely different level from most people.
Did you catch it? He opens a curiosity gap. A curiosity gap is the information someone knows versus the information someone wants to know. He basically mentions to the viewer that these billionaires have certain mindsets and habits that allow them to operate on a different level than the average person. So now the viewer knows this, but they don't know what those habits and mindsets are. This creates curiosity for the viewer to find out through the 6 lessons he is about to share. So what you want to do is stop overlooking the importance of intros and start dedicating more time and effort to making the best intro that you can. And how you do that is by reaffirming the viewer right from the start of your video. And you also do that by opening a curiosity gap, because when you open a curiosity gap, you make viewers curious to find out more and stay around to watch your video. And good intros are not boring, but purposeful to make your viewers stay. Number 5 is stop ignoring retention. You cannot keep viewers watching until the end if you only have a good intro and the rest of your video is bad, because the truth is retention is earned and it starts with storytelling. A piece of advice that I came across that explains storytelling well is this video from the creators of South Park. Let's take a look at a segment.
We can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words "and then" belong between those beats, you got something pretty boring. What should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word "therefore" or "but."
Basically what they are saying is to use the words therefore, but, or because instead of the word and to create a story within your video. This way it feels like the video is moving forward with a story instead of just listing facts or events, which is boring. And this applies to both entertainment and educational videos. For example, let's take a look at this video by Michelle Carr where she trained like a black belt for 90 days.
Right student with the right master. Earn it in only 90 days.
The whole video was about her trying to earn a black belt in 90 days. The boring version of this video would have looked like this. It would basically be Michelle starting at the beginning and just doing one thing after another until she reaches her black belt test. How boring would this be, right? It would feel like you are wasting your time watching this. But instead, Michelle does this. She spends time training for her first bout and gets her first couple of bouts. But then she faces some obstacles, loses focus, makes mistakes, and fails her green belt test. Therefore, she changes her strategy for her to pass the green belt test and move forward in her journey. It's a much better story. Even in educational videos, you can have a story structure to it. For example, if I were to do a fitness video about 5 secrets on how to lose 30 pounds of fat in 90 days, the whole video would be a list-based video. The boring version of this would look something like this. These are the 5 secrets to lose 30 pounds of pure fat in 90 days. Number 1, be in a calorie deficit. Number 2, eat more protein. Number 3, resistance training, and so on, right? But if we want to make it a better video that feels like a story and feels connected, I would do something like this. Now that you know the first step is to be in a calorie deficit, what are some things that can help you do this? Which leads me to my second point, and that is to eat more protein. And then I would do the same for the second to third point. But being in a calorie deficit and eating more protein alone will not be enough to lose pure fat. You have to do the right training, which brings me to the third point, resistance training. And I will do this with all points until the end. You see, it flows much better, as opposed to making it feel like a boring presentation that you're just reading down a list of things. So what you have to do in order to increase retention is focus on storytelling. This applies whether you are making entertainment or educational content. Finding ways to tell better stories is a powerful retention tool you need to use if you want to be like the top creators. Number 6 is stop being inconsistent. You cannot grow a successful YouTube channel if you cannot commit to making consistent content and commit to playing the long-term game. If the performance of every video that you upload dictates your mood and consistency for making content, it's going to be very hard for you to make YouTube a career or something sustainable. YouTube growth is a result of your consistent efforts of making better content over and over, no matter the ups and downs in your journey. For example, when I was starting out on YouTube, I remember back in the day, I used to see these top 10 channels. So I used to start these faceless channels, but the problem was I would never be consistent. I would start, upload a video, quit uploading, and repeat the cycle over and over. Then a couple years later, I wanted to crack the YouTube code again. So I decided this time to start a new channel and commit to just uploading one video every week, no matter the results, no matter if I got 1,000 views or 0 views. And that consistent effort in the good times and bad times of my YouTube journey is what allowed me to learn much more than if I were to let the results of a video dictate my emotions and my consistency and only upload when it was going good. Because the truth is, being consistent does not only apply when you are starting out, it applies throughout your whole YouTube journey. Even when you have videos that have gone viral, there will come times where things might not go as well for your channel. But even in the midst of ups and downs you will go through in your YouTube journey, I found that consistency, always learning and always getting better is what works. Being consistent despite the outcome you are currently getting and trusting the journey is one of the hardest things for people to do. But if you can remain consistent, that will make all the difference. Growing a YouTube channel is not about randomly getting lucky. It's about being strategic in how you approach your content. So you want to stop doing what is not working for you. And you want to start with knowing who your audience is, coming up with great ideas, packaging those ideas well, making a great intro, focusing on retention, and staying consistent. And you will start to see your channel grow. If you want to learn more about the strategies behind the top creators, you can check out my video I did on the top 10 lessons from the most popular creators.